Hi, marketers. Okay, one of the questions I often get is about boosted posts. Boosted posts work the same as if you were to go through and create an ad, except for the fact that you have less options available to go through and actually use. So we can take a quick look at just what kind of stuff is available if you go through and use a boosted post. So here, for instance, if you're on your page, if you're logged in with the role that actually has admin access, or at least the ability to go through and create ads, you'll see an option here to go through and boost a post. You can click on this, and it'll bring up a window that gives you all the different options to go through and potentially start running an ad. Facebook went through and they created this option because of the fact that they wanted it to be easier for people to go and create ads. Many people, understandably, were kind of befuddled by the complexity of going through and using Ad Manager. This is like a light version of going through and using Facebook Ad Manager. What we'll see up here is we're getting a warning. This is just because some of the ads from this account potentially could be promoting alcohol. You need to be careful if you're promoting alcohol that you have to obviously, advertise people above the age of 21. That should be okay. But more importantly, you can go down here and you'll notice you only get a couple options in terms of goals to go through and take a look at. You still have some settings here in terms of like audience, and it'll of course give you an estimate of the daily reach and things like that. You can go through and change your budget and of course change when it's going to be running. But generally speaking, you're going to get less options in this particular way of running an ad than if you went through and used the full set of options available in Ad Manager. So I recommend that you pop in and use Ad Manager. One trick is once you go through and set up different audiences in Ad Manager, you can quickly grab those and use those and when you run a boosted post. It's an easy way, if you've already set those up, to pop in and basically just start a new ad by jumping in here and starting to boost a post and then choosing the particular audience you've already predefined using the more complex Facebook Ad Manager tools. If you're curious about learning more about what types of ads are allowed on Facebook or not, you can go through and take a look at their ad policies. These are all published up on their website, and you can take a look at them and read through them to see what's allowed and what's not allowed. So here, for instance, you've got lots of detail on the review process that they go through when they're going through and actually deciding if your ad can run versus not. And they also have information on what types of ads are allowed. One thing to be aware of, especially in California, is just the fact that you can't go through and advertise cannabis. That's one thing that a group did run into previously, so be aware of that. Alcohol, of course, they're going to be touchy about as well, and anything that's sort of mildly questionable, they might have prohibited. So if that fits one of the categories for your client or things you might be thinking about selling in the future, just know this exists as a resource to go and check and find out if your ad would actually be allowed. Questions also sometimes come up concerning what exact measurements and things like that are the ones you want to be using when you're posting photos or videos to Facebook. Facebook's ad guide page has tons of information about all the different things that are allowed within the different ad formats. So we can pop in here and take a look. The link is going to be up on Canvas or below this video as well. And you can see all the different types of ads you can possibly post to Facebook and Instagram. You can click into any of these particular ads and it'll tell you more information about what types of ratios you want to be using, what types of images you can upload, what the ad will actually look like as well, and then more information on the types of links you can post, the captions, how long they can be, and all of these different things. This is a great place to go in and take a look if you're having issues uploading a photo or a video, or if you're not sure what type of stuff's actually allowed. Easily, drop in, take a look at these different options in here, and you can see the different types of requirements for all the different Facebook ad types that exist out there. Another tool that can be really helpful is what's called the Image Text Check tool. Sounds kind of weird, but the whole idea of this is to go through and check how much text is actually in any photo you might be using. The reason you'd want to do this is that Facebook and Instagram actually limit how much text can be shown in an actual post or ad. If you have too much text, it'll actually reduce how much exposure your ad or post has because of the fact that they know people don't like seeing text as much on social media. So the way this works is you simply upload your image and then the tool will tell you how your photo or image rates in terms of how much text is actually shown there. So if there's a lot of text in the photo, you're going to get a warning that your ad may not actually go through and run. If there's not much, you might just get a little bit less reach, a little bit less performance, and it'll tell you if it's okay. So you can just grab any image you're thinking of using, upload it to this tool, and it will tell you how your image rates. For instance, say you're thinking of going through and using this particular image, you can upload this and it'll tell you the ad is fine and this is going to run completely normally. Students sometimes have questions around some of the terminology they'll run into when they first start running ads. One of those is going to be CPM. CPM refers to 1,000 impressions. So when you see prices of like $3 for a CPM, don't think it's just $3 for every time somebody goes through and sees your ad. It's going to be $3 in that case for 1,000 impressions, or having your ad shown 1,000 times. Another important distinction is what's the one between reach and impressions. Reach is the number of people who go through and see your ad. Impressions is the number of times your ad is shown. So if you had a reach of 200 and you had 1,000 impressions, that would imply that everybody saw your ad an average of 5 times. So impressions, number of times your ad is shown; reach, number of unique people who go through and see your ad. The other funny one is conversions. Again, just a fancy word for people going through and actually buying or converting based on your ad. If you have questions that go beyond going in and taking a look at the different ad policies or taking a look at the requirements for different types of ads, you can go in and take a look at Facebook's Business Help Center. It used to not be that great of a resource, but it's actually fantastic now. You can search and take a look for basically anything that might be, a question that you have about Facebook or Instagram. So I encourage you to have this link. It's again down below on Blackboard, or going to be below this photo as well too. You can pop in and ask any questions you might have about different aspects of Facebook and Instagram. Facebook advertising can get complex, but never fear. The goal is not for you to become a Facebook advertising expert at the end of the semester, although if that happens, that's amazing, but it's for you to be really aware of what's possible with Facebook and Instagram advertising, and more broadly social media advertising, because it's all basically the same. So I want you to be aware of what sort of options are out there and what you could potentially do, even if you don't use all the ones in this actual course. I'm also going to be posting additional resources and links to things you can go and take a look at, whether it's videos or articles, if you want to learn more about Facebook advertising. Some students get super excited by Facebook and Instagram advertising, and that's awesome. But I also don't want to inundate people who this is new to and who really don't want to go beyond what we're going to do in class. So again, really cool topic. I want you to be really confident and able to talk about Facebook and Instagram advertising in any sort of job interviews you have, but by no means do I expect you to become, Mark Zuckerberg when it comes to advertising on Facebook and Instagram.